need to know if you got a higher than normal interest rate. Well, you need to know that maybe down the road you could refinance that vehicle and get into a lower rate. So you need to know why your payment is where it is and what the interest rate is, and not only what the interest rate is, but the total amount of the finance charges. The total amount of the finance charges. Now, a lot of times people read that and they say, "Hey, this dealership is taking advantage of me. Have you seen the cost of the car?" Well, understand this, listeners. You are going to pay finance charges on a vehicle when you finance it. If you keep that vehicle for the duration of that time, the bank is going to charge you appropriately money because it's taking you a long time to pay them back. But if you pay it off early, most cases there are not prepayment penalties. But you need to understand the total amount of the finance charges that you are paying. And lastly, you want to understand the extras that may be added to your contract. And when I say extras, I'm talking about extended warranties. I'm talking about, these service contracts that a lot of dealerships offer. You need to understand how much is the total cost of my car plus the extended warranty so that you understand every aspect of the vehicle. So here are the most important things that you need to understand when you're financing a car. You need to understand what your car payment is and when the due date is. You need to understand the interest rate. You need to understand the total amount of the finance charges that you're paying, and you need to understand the total cost of the car as well as any extras that you have added to the vehicle. If you know all of this, everything else is easy. Those are the most important questions that you need to know the answers to. Now, lastly, I want to talk about as you go into financing a vehicle, the first thing before you even get to that point, you got to pick a dealership to choose, where you're going to purchase your car at. So there's three different types of dealerships out here, and I want you to know each one so you can understand when you purchase a car what you are looking for. First of all, they have what we call the buy here, pay here's. Now, the buy here, pay here's are basically just how it sounds. You buy the car there and you pay for the car there. They typically have cars that are much older, usually a lot of miles. Sometimes they have some nicer cars because they'll take a car that is hypothetically a Mercedes-Benz, but it has 170,000 miles on it because it looks nice. These places deal more in people that really don't have a lot of options. And the big stickler with buy here, pay here's is down payment. Now, typically, if you've ever gone to a buy here, pay here, they'll ask you for $2,000 down, $3,000 down, on average. And what happens is the reason they're asking you for that money is because they want to make sure that you pay as much for the car that they bought. So let me give you an example. A lot of the cars at the buy here, pay here places are cars that are gotten from dealerships that may not have wanted to keep those cars. And so what happens is they may go and buy a car that is a 2012 Chevy Cruze that has 160,000 miles on it. They may be able to buy it from a dealership for $1,000 as a wholesaler. And then what they do is they turn around, they clean it up, and what they'll do, they may have $1,500 totally invested in the car. So what happens is that when you come in as a buy here, pay here client, that vehicle, in order to get that vehicle, they'll say you need $1,500. Well, that $1,500 just basically got the dealership their money back. And they're going to charge you, let's say, $3,500 for that car. Now, guess what? Plus interest. So now guess what? You're basically paying, you've already paid for the car with the down payment. So the buy here, pay here dealership, basically what they're doing is all of your car payments are clear profit. And you need to understand that's how those buy here, pay here's work. That's why they don't worry about the credit, because they've already invested, they've already recouped their money that they paid for that car. And if you don't pay, they will repo that car and start all over again. I've seen that happen. So, that's just the way they do. Now, the good thing is, like, they'll pretty much finance anybody. Now, here's another negative that you look at when you're dealing with places like that. is the auto repairs are not the same. The warranties are not the same. And those are issues that people have because they can't get their cars repaired at the way that they really want to have their cars repaired. And so ultimately it ends up being a situation where they have just issues. So be careful if you decide to go to a buy here, pay here. Now, here's another type of dealership, and these are the franchise used car dealerships. A lot of you know the names of some of those out there. I'm not going to mention, but you know those places are out there. They're a little easier to get approved from because, again, they do their own financing. They make their own decisions. The type of cars are a little bit better than the buy here, pay here's, and the auto repairs are a little bit better and warranties a little bit better. But the number one issue that most of those places have are issues that I've heard over the years are the repairs being done on the vehicle and the warranties not really covering a lot. So the buy here, pay here's and those franchise used car dealerships, their two real issues are they don't have the service departments like the bigger dealerships, and they don't have the same type of warranties. But the cars are cheaper. It's easier to get financed if you got some credit issues. And then lastly, you have the full franchise car dealerships that we all know and love, and you see in your neighborhoods. They have a wide variety of finance options. Typically, a dealership may have 20 to 30 different banks that deal with all different situations. They have much better cars. The cars are much later model, much lower miles, and some of them come with the balance of the factory warranty. They have, and this is important, they have reliable auto repair with certified mechanics. So that means that if you have a repair and you get it fixed and they say it's done and something happens again, they are going to be able to take that vehicle back and fix it at no charge. So, having certified mechanics and reliable auto repair on a vehicle you purchase, to me, is numero uno. It's the number one thing that you want to have because it's your money and it's your investment, and you want to make sure it's protected in case something goes wrong. Now, there's a safer bet to say that if you had a choice to buy from a buy here, pay here, a franchise used car dealership, or a full franchise car dealership, it's safer. It's a safe bet to say that if you buy from a full franchise car dealership, you are going to be completely satisfied with the process. Now, last but not least, I just want to say that the Carman Show podcast is a daily podcast, Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday, we have our recorded topics that we talk about, and on Friday we have Ask the Carman, where we can ask questions about your personal situation, and you can ask me those questions, and I'll be able to get all the answers to all the questions that you may have. So tomorrow I look forward to talking with some people. If you have some questions, please feel free. You can always go to my website, thecarmanshow.com. That's thecarmanshow.com. And you can find out more information about me and just information about everything. So, if you want to do that, you can also listen tomorrow, for the Ask the Carman segment of the Carman Show podcast. I'm going to be covering some of the stuff I talked about this week and answering all types of questions, hopefully to be able to help educate some people in their own situation. So I definitely look forward to talking with you tomorrow. I like to always end each podcast by saying, "You can with Carman."